let's talk about it. I've been contemplating making this video for over a year just because, I don't know, I kind of stopped sharing my life with social media. So as some people might have noticed, I haven't been as present on social media, especially when I'm speaking to the camera like I did when I did YouTube. I am going to be telling you guys why I've been a little bit MIA. This is definitely going to be the condensed version because there are a lot of elements to discuss as to why I kind of took a break. I started doing social media full time in 2021 I'd say, and then in 2023 is when I started to drop off. Now my goal in life was never to do social media at all. It was to be an entrepreneur. I love starting businesses and my goal was to always set up a few businesses which will make me set. That is my main goal. I've always wanted to have a few businesses running and so on. In 2023, I opened up my first business, which was probably the core transition as to why I started to go MIA. So once I started to open up this business, which is an event space, we did a lot of renovations and a lot of the time I was messy, dirty, and for some reason, I just love to be hands-on. Construction stuff, renovating, painting, I will do that any day of the week over sitting in front of a camera and talking about my life. There is just something about, I guess, the end result of like renovating stuff or creating stuff in like a physical way that I absolutely love. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So me and my business partner created the event space, so automatically my time kind of got divided between doing my content as well as running the business. From there, I opened up a second business, which was at the end of 2023, which was another full-on business venture. That first started in Chadstone Shopping Centre during Boxing Day, Christmas time, which was absolute chaos. Obviously, starting businesses is going to take time away from what you're doing in general, but there were underlying factors, which I feel like are the juicy parts as to why I stopped doing social media. So when I first started social media, I was signed up with an agency. Now, this was my first agency and a lot of people were signed up with this agency. I had started posting back in Tumblr days, so 2016. Took a break once I started dating my partner and then got back onto it once I started to become friends with this person. Now she helped me get into this agency because she was also in this agency. During COVID period, which is where this all kind of began, a lot of creators started to pop up, which some of these creators actually came into the agency. Now, I personally felt a shift in the deals that I was getting. It became a little bit less to none. I did pull them up about this and I said, regardless of who comes into the agency, regardless of how well they're doing, there shouldn't be any favoritism, and there was clear favoritism. That got resolved fairly quickly and I was passed on to a new manager, which a little bit sad to get handballed over, but it is what it is. Anyway, I was with this manager for a while and they were pretty good. They were pretty good until, again, the favoritism kicked in. Now, I started to notice this really early on because they would ask me what brands I wanted to work with and I would constantly see other talent that was under that one person get those deals that I wasn't getting. And when I asked what was the reason, I was told that my content was too perfect. Yeah, just to like sum it up, basically I was told, this was during the clean girl era, I was told that my content, it needed to be a little bit more natural, a little bit more clean girl aesthetic. Now, I don't know about you, but like my features naturally, they're not your typical like clean girl look in my opinion. Like I've got very dark hair, very dark eyebrows, I'm half Arab, I'm half Croatian. Now, this manager was comparing me to a lot of Australian looking girls, which isn't an issue, but I'm not that. Like, I can't get to that level. Anyway, so I started to lessen my makeup, started to basically not be me in a way, which I didn't really enjoy. So I started to kind of not really enjoy what I was putting out there to start with. Then came the moment of truth. I was reached out from a brand directly, basically told me that they would constantly ask for influencers for a particular campaign that they'd be launching and my name would never be put forward even though I asked to work with this brand. Does that make sense? So they came to me personally and said, hey look, I just want to let you know we've been trying to reach out. We actually personally wanted to come to you because you were never put forward as someone to be part of the campaigns when we asked for influencers. I was like, wow, that's great. I started to get a little bit turned off, and I think the thing that topped it was there was a lot of talk that this agency owed a shit ton of money to a lot of influencers, and I was currently backlogged and owed, I think, $30,000. So I started to get a little bit paranoid, and I eventually left, and I made it clear that I would be chasing up every single cent of that money, which I thankfully got. So after I left this agency was around the time that I started to do the businesses, and I also started freelancing. So I was doing all my deals myself, which was great. I loved it, but it is a lot of work. So between now and then, my, I guess, passion for social media was kind of diminishing just because of everything that I went through. Some people might think it's not a big deal, and you know what, at the end of the day, like, it's not a big deal, but like, it got a lot, and I was focusing on other businesses at the time, so I prioritized that, and naturally my audience, you know, stopped kind of interacting. Another reason was I felt like I was constantly getting associated with an ex-friend, which we did social media together, like, it was great, but constantly getting questioned, constantly getting asked, what's going on, why aren't you guys posting anymore? It took a lot, because like, I was upset that our friendship ended. Loved her to bits, but unfortunately people change, and that is just life. And I wasn't really comfortable discussing it during that time because it was so fresh, and now it's been like, what, freaking 3-4 years, maybe longer. I feel like I've moved past it and starting anew, which is why I am posting this right now, if it makes it to my TikTok, I don't know. If we're talking as a whole, I started social media very young. I actually started posting stuff during the Tumblr phase at 13. That trend obviously died down. We moved on to the next bit, which I started at like 17, and moving on from there, I'm now 23, and I feel like the content I'm posting needs to align with who I am, and I felt like that wasn't really present anymore. Like, honestly, I look back at some of the stuff I post and I'm like so cringed out. I really am. And sometimes I'm scrolling and I'm cringing. I'm like, wow, people are really getting into this, but it's just not what I want to be doing. I want to be talking. I want to be telling you about my life, telling you about my experiences. I'm a very open person. Love being an open book. Yes, I did kind of shy away from that for a little bit because a lot was going on in my life. A lot was happening, good and bad, mostly bad. But here we are now. We have to pause for mascara. I'm sorry, give me 1 minute. And also events, going to influencer events and just meeting influencers in general. It is a very, very cliquey industry. I'm not part of the clique. I've never been part of the clique. In high school, never hung out with the people that were cliquey, would go to all the parties and that type of stuff. I just have never been that type of person, and it is a very cliquey industry. Look, I guess if you're seeing it from that perspective, it's hard to be amongst, but coming forward, moving on, I want to do it for me. I want to work with brands that align with me and what my stage in life currently is, and I want to put that forward in a way that I want to do it because that's what makes me happy, and I'm not going to be worrying about what other people think because I never used to. But being in this industry, it kind of gets to you sometimes. It's the simple things. It's following people, showing that support. You see when someone comments on everyone else's photo but they won't comment on yours, but they follow you, you know, you comment on theirs, they'll never reciprocate that support. But moving forward, I plan to do it for me. I plan to do it for the people that enjoy watching my content, and moving forward, that is how I'm going to go about it because I do want to be posting. I do enjoy it, and I did enjoy it for me. It kind of just got a little bit crowded by the end of it, and it's taken me up until now to realize what I'm actually wanting and what I'm wanting to give back to you guys. And I like to watch back on things and see how far things have come and how quick time flies, because it does. I'm gonna take out my hair and then we're done. And we are done. Thanks for listening to me rant.